What's good, 99 Dreamers? We back at it, episode 11 of the 99 Dream podcast. My name is Julian Taliaferro. You already know we coming again with another weekly business update, lessons for the week, and then topic for the day, which is knocked off balance. And this is just about being knocked off balance from life, whatever circumstance that may be, whatever may cause you to fall off your rocker. But, how do you regain your balance? How do you get back to where you were before and get your equilibrium again? So that's what this entire episode is going to be about. The entire episode is kind of going to revolve around this, from the business update, the lessons of the week, and then the topic itself, right? And just to be a little bit transparent, last week, I'm a little bit disappointed just in my effort because I was knocked off balance by two things, right? First one was just being home with no structure, no schedule, and then by school. So it's finals time. I have a lot of assignments, a lot of work that needs to get done. So, that's kind of knocked me off my balance and I have to find it again. And in this meantime, as I'm kind of being knocked off balance for a couple of weeks because, finals ends in about 2 weeks, how do I still stay productive? How do I still be an entrepreneur when I have so much more on my plate, right? So that's where we're going to talk about. And honestly, I'm happy that last week I'm disappointed in my effort. First of all, not my effort, but I'm disappointed in how much I was able to get done. Going into Thanksgiving break, I assumed that I was going to be able to do a lot of work. Although I was able to get some things done, I was able to work on my business, do product search. It wasn't as much as I initially thought I was going to be able to do, right? So first off, feeling this way is good for me because that means that I care. That means that I know how much better I can perform, and that's crucial that, I can identify that. And that means that I can only get better, and I know how much more that I can do, right? So that's the topic, right? Knocked off balance, and we'll get into it more and more throughout the episode. But to start off, the quote for this week is by Steve Jobs, and its focus is about saying no, right? So Steve Jobs iterated this quote after, he was removed from Apple and he had came back and he was in the process of taking control again, and he was saying no to certain products that Apple had started development on, and he was saying no to those things and only focusing on products that transcended the company, transcended the brand itself, and made Apple what it is now, right? So what does saying no look like in my life, right? What does my focus to saying no look like? That means that I'm going to say no to anything that doesn't make me be or push me to be the best entrepreneur that I can, that I'm saying no to anything that doesn't add value to me, right? I'm saying no to anything that brings me down, that brings negative vibes. So I have to be very specific and focused when I say no to things, right? And that's what this quote kind of means, and it's from Steve Jobs. And yeah, that's the quote for the week. And now I want to get a little bit into about my business update. So like I said, a little bit disappointed from last week over Thanksgiving break, and it was due to certain things, right? And these certain things are life, right? So going back home from school, knocked off schedule. I don't have a schedule. And then school itself, so many assignments that I have on my back, but then also, my family. So I will say last week I was able to work on my next steps, which was the product search, and I identified some products, but I didn't dedicate as much time as I thought, right? So that's due to certain things. And that's kind of my first lesson for the week, which is, what is your priority? And my priorities are school and it's family. So it's Thanksgiving break. And what is Thanksgiving about? It's about family. It's about being thankful for family, being thankful for your friends. And that means you need to spend time with them, right? So if I'm not spending my time on my business, it means because I'm working and being with my family. And that's all fine with me because I know what my priorities are, and that's okay. So know what your priorities are, and that way you're not conflicted when you have to make a choice because you already know where you stand. And then my second lesson of the week is from a conversation that I had with one of my uncles, and we were just talking about me being black and then my African American heritage, but it's about knowing where I came from and then what am I fighting for, right? So this is crucial because if you ever have a down week, if you're ever in a time where you're knocked off balance like I am right now, or you're ever not being too productive, you're not getting things done, think back on your reasons. What are you fighting for, right? What are your reasons for being an entrepreneur? What made you take that jump in the first place? And then that should be all you need to put energy back into yourself, to give yourself power to keep moving forward and keep grinding and keep working, because you know what everything's for, and you know who or what you're working for, right? Is it for somebody? Is it for your mom, your grandparents? Is it for yourself? Is it for impact, right? Is it to give value to others? Is it for the youth, right? What are you fighting for? Identify that and add that to your list of reasons. So me personally, I have a long list of reasons on why I became an entrepreneur and how I can wake up every day and be overjoyed and be excited about why I'm working so hard, or be overjoyed to have a chance to make an impact, have a chance to build something successful. And that's how I can wake up every day happy, right? Knowing that it's for a certain goal and I have my reasons. So know your reasons, know who or what you're fighting for, and like that's of the utmost, right? So remember that. And now, that was kind of like my quick little business update and then my lessons for the week. But now I just want to get deeper into being knocked off balance. And like I said, I went home for the break, for Thanksgiving, and I went home, but I had no schedule, right? So when I'm at school, it's easy to operate in a schedule because I have class in the morning. I know that I have about 2-3 hours in between my next class. So I can devote 1 hour to my business and then 2 hours to my schoolwork. And then I get out of class after that. And then, I know how I can break up my time there. So I'm a very structured person, and it's easy for me to be able to devote time to certain things because the schedule and structure is already there, right? But when I went home, I had no structure and I had no schedule. So it kind of knocked me off balance a little bit. That was one of the things. And how do I still stay productive when I don't have a schedule? How do I still be productive when I have no structure? And for me, just realizing that I need to be intentional about my time. I need to be intentional about setting aside certain tasks, setting aside certain things in order to still be effective in whatever instance or circumstance that I may be in. And if I'm in a time like now where I have finals and so many school assignments, projects, papers, and reports, I need to at least do a minimum of work, that's devoted to my business, that's devoted to my personal development. So in a second, I'll highlight what I do every day on a day-to-day basis. And these are something that I've been doing for about 2 months now. So it's a habit for me. And, these things that I do is what I think what an entrepreneur does. This entire, podcast, or, what I'm doing here, with the 99 Dream podcast, is to be transparent about giving value, but then also being transparent about what an entrepreneur does on a day-to-day basis, right? What does that look like? How does an entrepreneur operate? So these things that I do on a day-to-day basis, I don't know what an entrepreneur does, but this is what I do. And, hopefully you guys will take something from it and see that maybe you can implement it into your own life. And then from there, after, so many weeks, so many episodes of me doing this over and over again, you guys will see the benefits and you'll see the rewards of what I do. So first off, my daily tasks are, I set my goals, targets, and successes for the day, right? So I set my goal for the day, and that may be build a six-figure business, that may be build a multi-million-dollar e-commerce business, or it's, being a master of my emotions and keeping a level head. These are all my goals. And then my targets, I have more of my business tasks, which may be devoting an hour to product research, and maybe devoting an hour to building my website, and then or 30 minutes to Grant Cardone, right? So those would be my targets. And then from there, I list my successes. So what was I able to accomplish for my business tasks that day? And I write that down. If I wasn't able to devote an hour to e-commerce in only 30 minutes, then I write that down. If it was only 15 minutes, I'll write that down. But it's a success because I took one step further and I at least tried and attempted my goal, right? And then from there, I also post 3 comics a day on my comic page. That's something I do every day now. I also read 30 pages of 2 books every day, so 60 pages in total. And the books that I'm reading now are How to Win Friends and Influence People, and then The New Economics. So those are the 2 books that I'm reading. I also play 1 or more chess games a day. And this is something that I'm not sure if it's a direct correlation to being an entrepreneur or having a business, but the ability to think 10, 15 steps ahead is something that I want to learn. And that mindset I feel I could apply to my entrepreneurship process, entrepreneurship journey as well. And then I also go through vocabulary cards every day. So a minimum of 5 minutes through vocabulary cards so I can build up my vocabulary and build up my repertoire of words. And I also pray 3 times a day, and I read the 91 Psalm scripture, and I get 91 Psalms equipped, which is just a declaration and statement of what God's blessings, have been on my life, and what every day and how every day God blesses me, right? So that's what that 91 Psalms scripture is, and that's what I do every day. I read that and declare God's blessings on my life. Then I also try to do 50 push-ups and 50 squats per day, right? So this is my daily task, and this is what I do every single day, right? So if I'm in a time where I'm knocked off balance, if I'm in a time where I have so many other tasks like school, reports, and papers, and I can't go above and beyond on my product research, I can't devote time to my website, at a bare minimum, I need to do these daily tasks. And from there, it kind of touches a lot of aspects. It touches my spiritual, it touches my physical, it touches my personal development, and then also my business, right? So this is what I do on a daily basis. And from there, and also learn something about e-commerce, right? So those are all of my tasks that I do on a day-to-day basis. And from there, I feel like it touches everything. And then when I'm in this state of being knocked off balance by life, I have to find and be intentional about finding pockets of time to then devote an hour to product research, devoting an hour to, building my website, and from there. But it's all about being intentional. And if I'm in a space where I don't have a structure and I don't have a schedule, I have to build one. So next time I go home for Christmas break, I'm going to build a schedule, make myself wake up at minimum or like latest 10 a.m., right? Because I like sleeping in. So latest 10 a.m. and then get my daily tasks done. And then from there, be intentional. So if I know I have dinner at 8 p.m. with the family, then work from 6:30 to 7:30 on my product research, right? And then from there, everything is gravy to hang out with my family and spend time. And I won't, be conflicted in my head because I feel like I'm missing something. If I do everything planned out and I have structure, then I can knock it out early and not be worried, right? And I know I knocked off everything off of my list. So that's just, some things that I just want to talk about. I feel like it's a little bit all over the place, but it's all in that idea of just being knocked off balance. And how do you operate when you don't have a schedule? You make one, right? How do you operate when you have so many tasks on your plate? Do a minimum of something every single day, right? And make a list of what those minimum tasks are, so you're still, putting steps forward to your goal, right, into your dream. And then what do you do when you still want to work on your product research, you still want to work on your website or other business tasks, and you don't have the time for it? You have to make pockets of time or find pockets of time, whether it's you're driving in your car and listening to a podcast, or, for me, before class, I would be working on my business, right? Before class starts. That's being intentional about finding a pocket of time to do something productive, right? So like I said, I feel like it's a little bit all over the place, but I still hope that you guys took some value from this episode, took some value of what, I've been thinking about, what I'm going through currently, as this final time, and I'm cracking down on all of my schoolwork. And I still have to be productive. I still have to, be effective in school and try to finish, with, good grades. That's what it was for this week. So, all right, let's get it, y'all. Go and achieve your 99 dream. And it's 99 dream because you are going to achieve your dream. And it would be 100%, but nobody's perfect. So you're going to achieve 99% of that. And let's go and let's get it.